So, maybe you're one of those wage slaves, one of those drones. You're sitting there thinking to yourself, man, I can't wait until this boss leaves. This boss quits. How would you feel about having a manager that was actually artificial intelligence? And some might say, well, that would describe my current boss. He's artificially intelligent. And there is an AI manager in development that supposedly helps agency employees work flexible hours remotely, set their schedules, plan their workloads. It checks their timekeeping, sends them deadline reminders and regular check-in messages, and records the time spent on different clients so the latter can be billed accurately. Oh, so it's sort of a helicopter boss. They say that this new AI manager achieved a 44% success rate in getting employees to pre-plan their work days and was able to motivate them to log in on time 42% of the time. Let's talk about it this morning. Joining us on the Wake Up Call, he is the CEO and founder of Aleda. It's a technology consulting firm. Matt Rosen rejoins us on the Wake Up Call. Matt, thanks for being with us this morning.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me on the show.
So, out of curiosity, does the AI manager also fire people and set up team building exercises and campouts in the woods?
Yeah, Hawaiian Shirt Day.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept, and I read the same study you all did about this, this fella who decided to use AI to manage his people. And, I think what we're going to see, as always, humans and computers work better together. And I do think there's going to be an element of mid and upper level managers using AI to help, whether it's distributing tasks, approve employee time off. Heck, we used it to write our reviews, gathering feedback, but we still had a person give the review to the individual. But it saved us 75% of our time. So you look at the good side, an AI is not biased. They're not going to, are you going to worry about running into the grumpy boss on Monday morning? But at the same time, if the human's not governing, you don't want AI, hiring and firing without any human input. So there's a lot of things to consider before we set AI loose managing people.
Okay, so listening to this, it doesn't sound like it's really a manager as much as it is an assistant.
I totally think of AI as an assistant, and I think we're all going to think of AI as assistants or a coworker that's really helping us get things done. We are big believers at Aleda of having a human in the loop, and it's like we help our clients kind of survey the landscape and figure out where to plug in AI. Some of the big areas where it helps is automating tasks. Mm-hmm. It helps in creating insights out of vast amounts of data, and it helps in creating starting points. So I could see how an AI could help automate a manager's tasks, maybe juggling a workload. But ultimately, we still want a human in the loop that's ultimately looking at the AI and measuring the people. And because what AI doesn't do is complex problem solving or show empathy in a realistic way.
Yet.
Yet being the operative word. But, if you talk to an AI bot, you can say, hey, say this with some emotion. And, if you didn't know any better, you might think you're talking to a person. So, you're going to show up on day one and you're talking to a humanoid-like robot using a generative AI. I think we're a good ways out from that happening, but is it a possibility in the future? I think it could be. A lot of it's going to come down to, as a society and governments, how much do we regulate AI? There's actually a bill in Washington called the No Robot Bosses, but it didn't go anywhere. But I think we're going to see more and more of that legislation come about. As with every, revolution, it's a mix of, free enterprise wanting to get ahead and do interesting things, and then, people in government regulating just how far it gets off the rails.
Do you think, well, I'm curious, how long is it going to be before AI is actually able to take over some of the jobs that we're talking about that people here are being regulated by AI, how many of them eventually are going to lose their jobs to AI?
It's with every revolution from the industrial age to the internet, people assume that new technology is going to take all jobs away. I don't see a future where there's not a labor force and AI does everything for us. I think jobs are going to change, just like there used to be a guy that delivered ice to your house. Now you have ice makers, but somebody needs to fix them. For the jobs that go away, typically new jobs are created. But, there are some at risk, things in customer service where you can talk to an AI agent or paralegals that do a lot of research. An AI can summarize legal cases faster than a human can. So I definitely think there's, even in development, we're in the software development business, and AI can generate code, but I wouldn't trust that code unless a human reviewed it. But at the same token, there's going to be new jobs created. People are going to need to govern these AIs. There's going to need to be people that can do AI development. And I think it's going to be incumbent upon both the workforce and society to get up to speed on these technologies and figure out how to deploy them in a way that does give people opportunity.
So these folks that have the AI manager, or it sounds more like an AI middle manager, how many of them feel like they're being micromanaged by it?
I think it depends on who you ask. If you have an AI checking in on you every hour, I'd say that's probably worse than a human. So again, it all comes down to the deployment of these technologies and measurement of them. I mean, it's a thing we're still learning. Really, Gen AI has been around since November of 2022, and many of our clients are just starting to scratch the surface. When I saw that report, it was the first I'd seen of someone actually having their workforce completely managed by AI. I mean, Amazon's been doing it in their warehouses for a little bit, and you saw people revolt to some of it. So I think it's going to be dependent on sector and company, and I think organizations are going to have to be really smart about how they deploy it and do it in a way where it doesn't feel intrusive. But with everything, we're going to make mistakes and learn from them. And you probably are going to see some organization deploy it and have half their workforce quit because it's annoying or feels like a helicopter boss and doesn't really get out of the way and give them opportunity to learn. But I think you're going to see others deploy it in a way that makes people super effective and frees them up to do more interesting work and less mundane tasks. Heck, our developers are using it, and they're 50% more productive, and the ones that really grab a hold of it are really excited about what it can do for them. So I think you're going to have half the people that are really excited about it. The other half are probably not going to be as excited as with everything.
Right. Were there any problems associated with these particular AI middle managers? And when I say that, I'm talking about glitches.
What we've seen as we deploy AI is, in early days, it would create hallucinations or things that weren't true. And they've gotten better over the years. So I think really the concern, that, I would have just turning over management of my team to AI is that it might assign more work that was necessary or not give them enough, or, might give them incorrect tasks. And again, what it comes down to is having a human in the loop that's managing it and making sure that these things aren't happening. Because, heck, I was just trying to get out of a garage the other day and was dealing with an AI agent, and finally I got fed up with it and, was able to get a hold of a human to actually let me out. But, I mean, this technology is not perfect. It never has been. It's been created by humans. And so we're always going to need human intervention, supervision, reinforcement before we set everything loose to the robots.
All right. Matt, we appreciate you joining us on the Wake Up Call.
Thanks for having me on the show. Y'all have a great day.
All right. You have a great day, too.